Coming up on the Extra Point, find out what had Michelle Clark Hurd and the Lady Tops dancing.
Chris Harrison Dox made this shot the first time. What happened when he tried again at the buzzer? And we follow the money trail from restaurant to arena in Birmingham.
Plus 2 track athletes and 1 buffalo. How did they navigate through a training schedule and river on the same trip?
With all the action from around Warren County and your WKU Hilltoppers, this is the Extra Point.
Tournament time, we held a sudden death elimination to determine who would anchor this show.
I beat out 1 seed Josh Holland when he stumbled with less than 15 seconds to go, giving me the chance to swoop in with my scripts in advance.
And Every Dance Has It Cinderella this year's was Extra Point advisor Victoria Lepeau with her own version of a playing game this week in Studio 2. But I took care of the veteran. I'm Fletcher Keel.
And I'm Anna Medina, and this is the Extra Point. The Lady Toppers will match up against 5th-seeded Texas in the NCAA tournament on Friday. WKU hosted a watch party for their fans at Double Dogs in Bowling Green on Selection Monday to find out who they would face. As Western's opponent was revealed, it was nothing but a big celebration. For some, seats and numbers define everything, but for Alexis Govan, the only thing that matters is playing the game. The WKU faithful made the 4-hour journey to Birmingham, Alabama to cheer on the Lady Toppers in the Conference USA tourney. Right out of the gate, the girls in red got to work against Charlotte, led by senior Chastity Gooch. She tallied up 19 points in her first Conference USA tournament game, while also adding 5 rebounds and 4 assists along with 3 blocks. Despite holding a 7-point lead at the half, the Lady Niners rallied late to tie the ball game with just over 2 minutes to play. The Lady Toppers, however, made some clutch shots to seal a first-round victory over Charlotte with the final score of 70-67. Next up, the Lady Toppers facing the Lady Monarchs of Old Dominion. Here we have Kendall Noble, who passes it to Micah Jones for the 3 from the corner. The Lady Toppers starting off with a 22-point lead. Then it would be Chastity Gooch to Eliana Johnson, who goes for the jump shot. She gets 2 points. Johnson had 8 points in the game. Next up, we would have Chalisa Painter, who dribbles and looks to swiftly find Jenny Sims. Sim taking most of the half with 24 points. Then it would be ODU again, this time Ashley Betts White, who goes left, who goes right instead, and bam, scores for the 2. Slowly but surely, the Lady Monarchs fighting back to cut the deficit. Then it would be Betts White's again, but oh, her pass is stolen by Kendall Noble, who passes it to Taysha Brown, and she goes for the jump shot. Taysha Brown giving the lead and the momentum for the Lady Toppers. Then it would be Sims again, who drives it up and tries to, pass for defenders, but she loses the ball instead. WKU wins with the final score of 61-59 and advances to the conference finals.
When doing something time and time again, people say it's like riding a bike. You never forget.
Fletcher, you mentioned earlier that you've never ridden a bike.
Well, anyway, even with WKU winning their 2nd consecutive conference tournament, the emotions were as if it was the first time all over again. Some back and forth and some late nights, a spirited round of rock, paper, scissors.
But after it all, we finally came to a decision for this week's Hero on the Hill. With her heart, determination, and dedication on the court this past week, this week's Hero on the Hill is none other than Michelle Clark Hurd.
Now, hold on, Anna. Coach Clark Hurd did have herself quite the weekend, but so too did Govan. Alexis led the Lady Toppers in scoring in all 3 games this weekend, averaging 20 points a contest. That, along with being named the tournament's most outstanding player, as well as doing all of this just a season removed from a left leg stress fracture, leads me to wanting to name her our Hero on the Hill.
But Fletcher, Coach Clark Hurd helped Western achieve a record in Conference USA history of 30 wins in a season. Plus, she also marked her 100th career victory in 5 seasons. She also won her 2nd conference title in 3 years, both of those as head coach. Lastly, Clark Hurd helped the Lady Tops reach the finals of preseason in the women's NIT earlier this season, leading me to name her our Hero on the Hill. Either way, both women made big impacts in Birmingham, but not the kind of mark that fans made on the same city. The old story goes that TJ Price came to the Hill without the staff seeing any tape of him in high school. Well, there is plenty of recorded video now. Price ends his stint in Bowling Green with the all-time record for threes in a career. He also became known for his assists both on the court and helping the next George Fan guide the team through coaching and conference transitions. Fan attendance during TJ's time fluctuated, but no matter what ticket deals were in the stadium, the price was always right to see one of WKU's best shooters of all time. Last, but certainly not least, we bid adieu to Bowling Green's favorite son, George Fan. While the TJs got it done from the outside and mid-range, George did the dirty work down low. Even with the extra defensive attention, Fan still threw down his share of slams and ranks 13th on the all-time Toppers scoring list. But believe it or not, he made an even bigger impact on the glass, finishing with the 8th most rebounds in the Hills hoop history, and even found time to protect his house. Our reporter Ian Dowdy went on a trip with 2 student athletes, and he did his best to not rock the boat. Scouts gathered at Houshun Smith Stadium to examine a number of Hilltoppers before the draft, namely Cam Clemens and Cam Thomas. The duo of Clemens, the lineman, and Thomas, the defensive back, drew most of the eyes from the NFL scouts for the Bengals and Dolphins mainly. But there were other toppers who took to the field in an attempt to impress the scouts and showcase exactly what they could do. It's not that these dunks and blocks missed our radar for jaw-dropper of the week. It's just that one play rose above the rest. The Hilltopper baseball team herded the Bison of Lipscomb 6-1 on Tuesday to boost their win streak to 3 heading into the weekend. After surrendering less than 3 runs per game in their last 5 contests, the Tops pitching staff credited their offense for comfortable leads and said that they need to continue success on the mound for the series against Texas San Antonio.
If you're new to our show here on Extra Point, which is understandable, haven't had a show in a couple weeks with all the snow and the spring break that is, this is when we go for 2 and talk about the highlights of the day. And man, it's NCAA tournament time. WKU gets in on the women's side facing the Longhorns. And Anna, when we talked to Rick Cantu yesterday, he said you can throw out the 5 and 12 seeds out the window. This is going to be a good ball game with 2 good teams.
Right, this is the 18th NCAA appearance for WKU. Let's recall that they faced one of the most remarkable times they faced Texas was in 1985 when they advanced to the Final Four, and then in 1986 when Texas went on to win the NCAA title.
Yeah, in that 85 game, the Lady Toppers actually beat Texas in that Final Four game, and the Longhorns thought for sure that they'd be making it, and Lady Toppers put it into their halt and went to the championship game themselves. And if I had to put you on the spot right now, pick a winner, WKU or Texas?
WKU, of course.
WKU?
Yes.
Go Tops?
Of
All right,
course.
well, Anna, the clock says 1.3 seconds to go until the buzzer sounds, which means we got to get out of here.
Right, which reminds me to remind you to follow us on Twitter at ExtraPointWKU and check us out at newschannel12live.com/extrapoint for all your news and updates throughout the week.
Now, even though it is a March Madness, we are going to stick to our guns. The Extra Point is up,
And
it's
good.
good.